Why do some people struggle with money while others make the right decisions and build lasting wealth? In this mini-series, Dr. Matt and I explore the psychology of money and the behaviors that quietly shape financial lives. Y'all, money's emotional. It's tied to fear, identity, habits, and even relationships. And we've learned that long-term financial success is as much about behavior as it is math. Even the best financial plan can be undone by poor behavior, while good financial behavior has the potential to compound more powerfully than investment returns. In this series, we explore why people struggle with money, how emotions drive decisions, and how habits shape your financial life. This is the stuff about money they didn't teach you in school, Psychology Edition. This is the stuff about money they didn't teach you in school podcast. I am your co-host, certified financial planner Erik Garcia, joined by my co-host for this series, The Psychology of Money, Dr. Matt Morris, family therapist, couples counselor, longtime friend of the show, longtime friend of the Plan Wisely family. This is episode 7. This is our last episode on the Psychology of Money series that we have been doing. We've talked emotions being signals. We've talked love and money. We've talked mindset, motivation. We've talked control. Yeah, control. And I want to tie it all together. Okay. Why I even took time to record this series and why I wanted you to join me. The psychology of money. I don't know if you remember this. We're having a conversation. I don't remember exactly where we were, but it had to be close to 15 years ago. It was a long time ago. And we were talking about, it was probably in our Shark Tank business planning kind of sessions. We used to have these do you remember that Shark Tank? We'd pitch our marketing plans to each other. It was a whole lot of fun as young entrepreneurs. And we're talking about counseling, and you said something about your profession. You said the counsel or the counseling process that you have with your clients is as important as the counsel itself. And what I heard you say was people changed, not because you told them the right thing to do or change in their relationship. They changed because you had a conversation about something, and in the conversation, something shifted, something changed inside of them that moved them from where they were to where they needed to be.
Yeah.
And around the same time, I heard a quote from someone in our industry, and he said that the future of financial planning is not financial advisors handing out expert advice. It's financial advisors helping clients make meaningful behavior changes. Right? Financial advice is important. The math of what I do in my everyday is important. But if I really want to help you have long-term financial success, I have to engage you at a different level, not just at this technical level that no one really honestly probably engages at, but at a more deeper behavioral emotional level. So this psychology of money to me has become so core to our practice. It's become so core to the conversations that we have with our clients, because at the end of the day, clients want money. What I've learned, even more importantly, clients want fulfillment, contentment, and security. And more doesn't necessarily give you those things. Can, but it doesn't necessarily give you those things. So that's why I'm so thankful that you've joined me for these 7 episodes. Talk to me a little bit, Matt, about, we've had so many conversations about money and psychology of money, behavior of money, the emotional side of money. Why is it so meaningful to you to have these conversations?
Yeah, I mean, personally, it's very important to me because I want to live the life that I'd like to live. There are plenty of things that I want to do with my own life and with my own family that require money, and to get there, I need the right habits and the right mindset and all of that. I was thinking as you were talking about your little intro there that I've called you over the years many times for ideas or advice or thoughts about a financial decision. And probably about 25% of the time, it's been a technical piece of information. And probably about 75% of the time, it's been an emotional, behavioral. What? The answer was really emotional or behavioral, not technical.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that sort of fits for your your work in general. But so personally, it's very important to me. Also professionally, thinking about money and the way it impacts relationships, and namely in the way that it impacts couples and families and small business owners, is just a part of my work every day with couples and families. Mental health and financial health are not that separate.
They're more similar.
You know, family therapy and financial therapy are not that separate. And so I feel like it's something I've had to learn to integrate well into my mental health care, my practice. I'm also a professor, and it's interesting that we teach our students all kinds of things about mental health care and counseling people well, but we don't really teach them about integrating or incorporating financial health into that. It's sort of still an outlier in the training curriculum of our field. That's not true writ large. You know, there are family financial planning and family therapy programs that are integrated to some extent, but they're the vast minority. So it hasn't made it into the standard curriculum. I say all that to say, you have taught me so much about financial literacy and being literate and discussing it, that it really has brought a ton of benefit and value and useful information to my practice.
Yeah. So two things on that. One is, let's put a pin in this financial literacy. Remind me if I forget that, because my tendency, is I'll start talking about one thing and I'll forget.
You mean today or just like in the future sometime?
Today. I'm going to share one thing with you to respond to a question that you asked, and then I want to come back to this idea of financial literacy. So you asked, you said that when you would call me like 25% of the time, it was about some technical thing, and you're wondering if that's common. I'm finding it more and more common today with my clients today, that they're hiring me. And I don't know if this is a change in me and how I approach money, or if this is just in the client that I'm attracting these days. But I think it's probably how I'm approaching my profession. Is most clients, the value that they get from hiring me is not what they think when they hire me. Or they're hiring me because they're, selling their business, and they want someone to walk them through the process, the succession planning. What do they do with the proceeds after they sell? They hire me because they want to put a retirement plan in place. They hire me because they want to start investing and building some liquidity outside of their small business. But when they hire me, they get a statement of financial purpose, right? What's most important to you and why? What are we really planning for? Like, what's really most important to you? Let's make sure we're making good decisions with your money that's consistent with what's most important to you.
Yeah.
They get a thought partner. Now, this sounds kind of weird in kind of how I position it, but they get someone who they can say, hey, I'm thinking about this. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Someone who knows their situation intimately, their financial situation intimately, can speak in a way from someone who's a disinterested party, who knows their money almost as good, if not better than they are, who can read their tax returns that tell stories better than they can. Oftentimes, I can't read a tax return better than a CPA, but the stories that it tells and the strategies that come from it, oftentimes we see things that CPAs don't see things. We see things that their accountant doesn't see. We see things that their attorney doesn't see. So when clients hire me, they're hiring me for something over here that's more technical, and they're getting something over here that in the end is probably why they keep me around. And I would say it's one of the differentiating things about how we approach, our craft. So yeah, I would say that you're probably a little bit more aware of the psychology side of money. You're aware of the behavior side of money. I don't think most people are as aware or conscious of it. But when we have the conversation, I think people do recognize, oh yeah, this is what I really want. I'm not just kind of working to work to make money. I'm working because I want to provide a college education for my kids. I want, what gets me is when people present to me what they want to do with their money, and then we see what they're actually doing with their money, and it is it is so distinct. It is so contrary. It's working against it. My family, spending time with my family is important, but yet you spend 80 hours a week working.
Yeah.
Like, how do we reconcile those two? Let's figure it out. Money's important. We got to figure that out. So I guess that answers your question about, is that what most people call me about, or how the relationship manifests itself? Then you talk about financial literacy. When we first started working together, I internally and I probably externally gave you pushback about, I am not in the financial literacy business. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
certified financial planner. I am a certified, I have one of the highest certifications in my space, and you want to call me a coach? You
Financial
want to say that I'm
coach. Yeah.
coaching clients? You want to say that I'm teaching them financial literacy? And I pushed back hard on that because I felt
Mhm.
it was demeaning
Beneath
to
you in a way, beneath
me.
your
That's right.
credentialing. Yeah.
Yes. And I've come full circle and realized, man, money's fairly simple. Okay. Yeah, there's strategies that are complicated, but money's really simple. If you want financial success, guys, there's 3 things you need to do. And I think this deals with psychology of money. Spend less than you make, save as much as you can, and don't do anything foolish with your money. Super simple,
Right.
man, but it is hard to do. I think we started this series with a quote from Richard Thaler, the father of modern economic behaviors. He said, if you want to understand economic behavior, you need to understand that humans are human, that we are irrational,
Yeah.
we are emotional. And I don't say that like, pejoratively, like, oh, you're just emotional, oh,
Right.
you're just irrational. No, we act irrationally.
Yeah. We don't operate like a spreadsheet.
We do not operate like a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So I think that's why this is such an important topic.
Mhm.
And I'm so happy that we're having these conversations.
So we've talked about mindset, for instance, the notion that your thoughts about money, your scripts about money shape your actions with money, and that's a really important piece. We've talked about that. All of us will feel emotional about money. We'll have strong, powerful emotions about money, but that the emotions are not directives, they're data points.
That's right.
They don't tell us exactly what we should do. They tell us that something's important to us.
I heard someone say once that emotions are terrible advisors.
But they're really good at telling us what's important. They just don't always have the solution. They don't know what to do. Our emotions don't have the solution.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
right.
they just tell us that something is really significant to us. We've talked about the fact that it's really our behavior and our habits that will determine our financial future so much more than our motivation, our intentions, or things that are beyond our control, like the market ups and downs.
Yeah. And I would go as far as to say, and this is a bold statement, and I believe this more and more and more every day, that good financial behavior, we can exchange behavior for habits or habits for behavior.
Mhm.
Good financial habits compound more powerfully than investment returns. Right.
And
We
that's
talked about
amazing to me. That I have to really dig in to think about that, because compounding interest, what did Warren Buffett said, this eighth wonder of the world or something like that?
Albert Einstein said it. I don't know who said it. I don't know
Oh,
Warren
okay.
Buffett.
Okay. It wasn't Warren Buffett. It wasn't Warren Buffett.
90% of Warren Buffett. This is a good.
Let's just call it Galileo said it. All right.
Copernicus said, no, but this is good. 90% of Warren Buffett's net worth came after age 60, which means it took him a long time to build the wealth that he has. It was always
what? 90% of his net worth
came
after 60. That is
Think about that.
phenomenal. All right. So
The
you're
long
saying
compounding interest is powerful. What I'm
compounding
saying
interest is super powerful. You're saying
I'm saying that if you don't make the habit to save 10% of your income, forget about compounding interest.
that the behavioral system that you employ compounds in a even more profound way than interest.
Yeah, because if I've got an investment and I made the good decision to save, however, I am withdrawing, I'm extracting money, right, from my investment account when I don't need to, That's a bad, I say bad,
Yeah.
depends on the circumstances, of course, but that is a behavior that is acting, in contrast negatively to growing.
Yeah.
So yeah, good financial habits, if you do them consistently, they stack more powerfully than good financial investment returns. Now, I'm not saying investment returns don't matter. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying here is your habits are
Yeah.
as powerful, if not more powerful.
Just to put a fine point on this, I have young adult children, 20-year-old. We know that if the 20-year-old started putting money into an investment account regularly from 20 onward, even if it's $100 a month, which is not insignificant for a 20-year-old, but $25 a week, if they did that from now until 65, they'll be a gazillionaire. Because
At one point, I did this because I presented to some high school kids. 18 years old, $100 a month at 10% return at age 65. It's like just north of 1.2 million.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the math, the compounding interest, it works.
Mm-hmm.
The math always works.
Mm-hmm. It does.
But the behavior.
Good habits compound more powerfully. And we don't want to hear that, man. Like I often think about that, like, golly, I might run somebody off one day as a client because I'm telling them, hey, save more. Like, well, I want to spend more. And I don't tell people what to do with their money. At the end of the day, it's your money.
Yeah.
You hire me to help you solve a problem, a financial problem, or achieve some goal, not a problem per se, but some objective. And, sometimes your spending impedes your ability to achieve what you want. But yeah, good habits are important. So we talked about habits, and then we talked about control, right?
Mm-hmm.
That some of us believe that our financial success is dictated by outside influence as opposed to internal
Luck.
Right?
Being born at the right time in the right place. And to some extent, it is. Being born in America probably advantages you in a lot of ways.
It does. But in our context today, most people listening to this podcast today, you probably have more control over, regardless of your circumstances, you probably have more control over your financial outcomes than you give yourself credit for.
Right.
We talk about love and money.
Yeah. The fact that money problems are often disguises for relationship problems. That talking about money is critical but difficult. And that if you're in a relationship, you're going to need to learn to talk about money well. If you're not doing that well, get some help.
Yeah. And then we talked, our last episode, we talked about, remind me, what did we talk about?
Well, we talked about that control thing that you were talking about, but
that's right. That was our last episode.
But
that's right.
A point that we should probably emphasize is that the things you do have control over as a business owner, I'm thinking really about myself, is I can't control the market necessarily, but I can control so much about the market. I can control where I practice, how I market myself.
By market, you mean your particular industry, your market.
My industry, yeah. You remember I moved offices many years ago to a better location. That really affected my business in a positive way. I can control how much of my revenue I save. I can control insurances that I buy. I control, the kind of my spending in the business. So many things I do have control over. My fingers do touch.
Yeah, man, I've had a lot of fun recording this series with you. I think this is such valuable information. And I know that I am enriched by having these conversations. So I know that our listeners are as well. And I just kind of want to end kind of with this thought for our listeners that your financial life, it's not just about spreadsheets and numbers. It's part of it, right? It's about psychology. It's your thoughts shape the way you see money. Your habits shape the way you use money. Your choices shape the life that money ultimately builds for you and your family. That yes, the stock market matters. Yes, the economy matters. Yes, the math has to be good. But in the long run, the most important variable in your life is going to be you and the habits that you develop over time. That's going to be the biggest variable in your ability to have financial success, to build financial security, and to have a life that you want to have with your family. So on that, Matt, We're gonna have to do this again sometime.
Of course.
Thank you
Let's do
again
it.
for your contribution.
Thanks
and
for having me. Yeah.
All right, y'all. If you found this helpful, go share it with someone. I'm going to tell you right now, everyone probably needs to hear, I might be a little biased, but everyone needs to hear this message about the psychology of money. We all interact with it. We all need it. We all need it to, it's the currency of how we live in the modern times. So share this with someone. Appreciate you for listening.